Hi YouTube, it's Beck here from Curated. I hope you are going well. I've had a bit of a shocker of a couple of weeks. My mum has passed away and we've had a lovely memorial service for her. I've been down in Melbourne for most of that time, but I'm back in the shop, or back in Newcastle now and in the shop, but and on Monday, so it's Saturday here today, Fleur Woods is arriving, or no, she actually arrives tomorrow or tonight, but she starts her course on Monday at my old shop, as I discussed in the last video. I have been into the new shop this morning. It is looking great. It is not ready to host, but it's got a kitchen and most of a bathroom and all sorts of things. So it's not long until we move, which is great, but just also still disappointing. I am going to start, I'm doing a textile kind of haul and also a go through of my needle books and the textile collage that I made actually while I was in Melbourne, or finished when I was in Melbourne. I actually made that by my mother's bedside and at home when I was at my dad's home, when I was just processing some of those feelings, I guess. It's funny with Alzheimer's, like mum had been really unwell for a while, but she got rapidly worse and you knew it was coming, but it still felt like a shock. And there's relief mixed in there because I hated seeing her like that. And I know my dad did as well, like everybody did. But, you know, it's just, I don't know, all the feelings, I guess. Anyway, I'm going to start with this little green doily, which is, you've probably been wondering why it's sitting there. I received this from Raylene Sharp. She just sent it to the shop and it's such a pretty little green doily. It's quite fine. It'll be beautiful in something. It is exactly the color green that I love. In fact, I might put down in a minute something white behind here so that it's a better view for those of you watching at home. Anyway, Raylene, I just wanted to say thank you for that. And then I also have, so Emily, who works with me in the shop, or worked with me in the shop, is leaving. She is leaving because she's taken a full-time position, and this is fantastic for her, not so fantastic for me. Although we've got some other lovely people in mind to fill her shoes. So she has just been to New Zealand as well. She just came back from a couple of weeks on a family kind of trip to New Zealand, and she brought me back some textiles that she found over there. So this is, I don't even know what this is, but it's super cool. Like it'd be very great as like a tie on a housewif or any of those kind of things. This tealy, kind of dark tealy color is one of my favorite colors to include in a quilt. So I really am quite chuffed with that. She also brought me, they're sitting here so I'll show them, this little salt and pepper shaker set. And I have one really similar to this. I'm not sure if it's the same, but I love it. I'd picked one up on a trip to Melbourne once, I think, and she found these in New Zealand and got them for me. And in fact, I found quite a few more when I was down in Melbourne one day, and I'll talk about that when I get to my part of this haul stitching kind of video. So they were from Emily and aren't they cute? So she just said that she picked up doilies and things for me when they were a good price. She's a bargain hunter, and she thought I might like them, and I do like them a lot. Thank you, Emily. This is just a tea towel, but she and I both agree this is a lovely edging on it. Probably all of this needs a soak. Very cute. I'm loving this kind of edge that's uneven or like lets you do something textural in your work. She knows I love these cross stitch ones. Excuse that noise. That is some birds on our roof. Not sure what they're doing. This one's very cute as well. Another little cross stitch one. This one is interesting. She didn't realize, and I didn't realize when I first picked it up. It's paint. I've never seen paint this fine before. I don't really love paint as a general rule, but it's quite cute. So I'll see what I might do with that. And like, she gets them for me, and she's like, I love to see them in your kits. She doesn't expect me to stitch with all of them. She just is a fellow kind of vintage lover hunter. So, and then this beautiful tablecloth. This is just gorgeous. Why has that got a big, let's move that out. Beautiful green flower, just like, I actually haven't seen this kind of color combination before. So that will be lovely in some work. Maybe in a textile collage. And then just after she left and we'd done hugs and like, oh, wishing well, she came back in 2 minutes later and said, I just popped into the op shop and they had this apron and I thought you needed it because the fabric is very cute. And it is really cute. I do not know what kind of fabric it is. It feels flimsy, but it's not flimsy. It is very cute though. So I'm sure that will be used in something, and I'll use the tie for something, or you might see bits of it in kits. Who knows? It looks really lovely actually against that flower there. So they were the gifts that I just wanted to say thank you for. Now, these are the series of needle books that I had been making as part of a YouTube tutorial. So I made 3 little needle books, all from a bundle that I'd collected together, and also this textile collage. So I'm going to talk about this in a little bit. I want to go through these first. So you can see here that they're all different sizes. This one's really little. There's a little thimble. Let's put it on its side so it might help you more. It's little. It's very simple. I made it so because I had this tiny little bit of beautiful fabric and I just decided I needed another needle book. So here it is. So simple, so cute. I actually think I might put little kits together for something like this because they're super fun. And like if I had those beautiful, I don't know, I think they'd be lovely. Oh, and while we're here talking about kits, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody. I'm not sure if any of you are YouTube followers that buy the kits that I put together, but I'm so grateful that they tick so many people's boxes. I know they sell out really quickly. They are all textiles that I want to work with myself but can't because I can't do all the projects all the time. But anyway, I'm very grateful for your support. So next, this is the one that I don't think I've done a flip through yet of on YouTube because I've finished it. So it is all together. This is its tie over here as usual. I like it. I don't know why, but I find it satisfying when it can tie on this side rather than here. And it is this beautiful vintage fabric that I have cancer stitched 2 directions, 2 different threads. This beautiful bit of a doily with some, you know, quite interesting applique work on it. A little French laundry tag with BB on there for Beck Brennan, which I really like. And when I open it up, it's got felt on the inside, so a pin, like a pin page or a needle page. Little pocket here. I've embellished since you will have last seen it, and I had these little flowers cut out from something else, and I just put those on with a quite dominant, I would say, blanket stitch in 2 colors because I ran out of, like the thread ran out, and with this kind of a project, I quite like to change it up like that. So I thought that looked very sweet there. And on the back, I like how that looks, how it comes through as well. It's quite neat still. On this felt page, or felted wool page really, I have just put a little bit of vintage fabric over the top, also cancer stitched through, which looks great both sides. Little embellishment on the side with some stitches. I think all of this was done last time I showed you. I think I've added these little 2 woolen flowers on that were off a tea cozy, very sweet. And then I put one, like, so where they attached, I just put one both sides so that you couldn't see the stitches. Just kind of liked how that looked. And I've put this little duck on here, which is just so incredibly sweet. And you can see that stitch come through on this side, but it's quite neat because it's just a running kind of stitch. Now, I think I showed you that this one had a hole in it here, and I thought about, should I patch that up or what should I do? And I ended up just putting a little bit of fabric underneath, which I quite like that you can see that little flower pop through here, just for something a little bit different. Another just simple page, and then pocket at the back as well. So 2. And then the third one I have flipped through. I know I've flipped through. Is this up the right way? Yes, it is. This is the front of my project, and I really liked how I'd added this white bit on. It's just a plain linen. I have done something similar on a needle book that I'm working on at the moment. I've seen some beautiful needlebooks that people are putting together, and they've got lots and lots of things on them. And they're very, very pretty. I think, like, is it upside down actually? It's upside down. How stupid is that? Sorry. Here it is. We're flipping through this way. It's got this little pocket here. So regarding the other, there's just a thread in there. Needle books that I've seen. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I just tend towards a little bit plainer. I like to admire, and I wouldn't call them plain, just plainer. I like to admire the vintage textiles I'm working with a lot. Or the new textiles when they're new textiles. So here we go. And this is just actually not a pocket. It's just an embellishment. I'd forgotten because I haven't looked through it for a while. So there's the 3 of those. They really make me incredibly happy, the 3 of them together. And of course, they match in with this work. Now, I stitched this at my mum's bedside when she was really unwell, and then when I was back down a few days later, I had to come home. My son was graduating school, and I really wanted to see his final assembly and clap out, etc. So he's doing his HSC exams starting in a day or so. And we also had some appointments that we just, 2-parent consent was required for. So I needed to be here. And unfortunately, my mum passed away as Otto and I were traveling basically down to visit. So it was good we were there for my dad, and my mum wasn't, like, I was with her actually when she was last conscious, but, and she was polite to the end. While she was obviously in quite a lot of pain, one of the nurses said, "How are you, Lainey?" And she said, "I'm all right." She was not all right. But that is my mum. Okay. So I could just make a large zipper pouch out of this, which is, I think, what I was intending, or even one with like boxed out corners where you cut out the corner here to give it a base. But I think I'm actually going to use this to make this wide open tube frame pouch that I have been meaning to make for, I don't know, maybe a couple of months since I've had them in the shop. Now, I will lose bits of it, and that's what I'm a bit worried about, losing that Bluebird of Happiness. I'd always use them in something else. Sorry, I don't know. That's got on my drink of water, so it looks greasy, but it's just wet. I'd have to choose how to position that so that I didn't lose it. But that's what I'm considering making it with. I quite like it because it's got this, like the kits. They come like so, and you make, and so then it'd be a pouch that you put things in. And I thought this could be really lovely. I like how on the diagram it's got some pearl threads and some wool and a darning mushroom. I like that a lot. Anyway, so that's what I'm thinking of doing there. And then for the back of it, when I was in Melbourne, I needed a little break from some stuff that was going on with my family. I was doing lots of the you know, helping Dad with things that were difficult, like cleaning out Mum's room, and I went through all the photos to make the photo memorial, and I found that really confronting, actually. I had a lot of feelings about it. And at one point, I just needed a break. So Otto and I went to some op shops and I found this beautiful doily. It's got some marks on it here, but I really like that it's just brown work. You know, I love brown. So I thought I might use this on the back of my pouch. So just still considering whether I can lose bits of this. Like if I cut bits of it off, I can absolutely use them in another project, and I will do so. But just considering whether that's the right thing to do with it. I do desperately want to make this though. So it seems like it might be, you know, a good plan. And I don't know, it'll be something I use for a long time, and I would remember that, you know, incredibly hard, but also incredibly valuable time with my mum and my family. Okay, I'm on to the haul part of the video now. Sorry, I just walked away, put something in the bin. I'm going to show this in sections. It's going to be a long video. Settle in with your cup of tea or wine, Diet Coke. There's a lot to show. I was incredibly lucky both in Melbourne and on the road home from Melbourne. I feel like that might have been my mum looking out for me. But as I said, I needed to get out of our house one day. I was feeling all the emotions and I was done. I was exhausted, and I actually really enjoy sourcing vintage textiles. Now, I am not going to necessarily share with you prices of things, partly because I think some people think, oh, why aren't I selling them for the same price that I've bought them for? Because I'm cleaning them often. I will not clean laces like this. I actually really love how marked they are. But I spend the time looking for them, and I know what to find, and I know how to combine it, and I know how to clean it. So yes, when I buy something, or sometimes I buy things and they go into kits and they're basically the price that I would, like that I've bought at is the price I'd sell at, but that's to make a kit complete. Anyway, you're probably not even interested in that. Although some people have been a little bit snarky about that. And, you know, you're finding stuff and then making a profit off it. Absolutely. This is a business I'm running. But I also hope that I offer lots of good ways to use textiles that you might have yourself, and that you enjoy being here. I love that you are here. So, in Yass, on the way home, we stopped and I went into an op shop and I found this vintage lace. This beautiful lace. And this beautiful lace. Now, that op shop did know what they had. It wasn't super cheap, but it wasn't ridiculously expensive either. And it was, you know, just a bargain. Not a bargain. It's hard to find stuff like that without getting it from, say, France. And then you've got to add on kind of, you know, your costs of getting it to Australia. And this beautiful antique lace as well. I really love these bobbin laces. They're very pretty. So they came from an op shop in Yass, and I got a couple of other things there, which I'll show in a sec, but I'm just doing trims to start with. So I will show you the price of this one. This was a $5 bag of kind of ends of little bits of lace. Now, lots of this I don't like at all, and I will not include in kits, and lots of it I love a lot. So this is quite sweet, although it does feel very polyestery. This I really adored. Thought this was lovely. This is meant to have a ribbon through it. I wouldn't put a ribbon through it, but it would go in a kit or in my own work, definitely. Really like this grapes. It was quite lovely, but I probably wouldn't use it at all. So it might be right for a kit. I don't think so. I will put that probably in a pile that I have of textiles that I buy when they're bundled and I donate them back. This little pink nylon lace definitely wouldn't use. This pink lace also definitely wouldn't use or include in kit, so we'll pass it on. This is why I actually bought it, because look at that little star that I could see, a little crochet star. It's just stunning. I love the age marks on it. Once that's pressed, it will be just absolutely divine. So that was a bargain to come in this bundle. I do like this, but I would probably use just that portion of it and remove this portion. This is very lovely. It's an old bobbin lace, I think. And they're only little pieces of them. This one was in there as well. So this actually was a bargain bag, because these laces are quite expensive these days to find. This is a thicker crochet lace. Still lovely. It's got nice colour on it. So probably use it. Another little bit of the grapes, or maybe I put it in the wrong spot. This I wouldn't use. It just looks too new to me. So I'll put that with the ones that I will be donating. Again, this one, it's got nice colour on it, but it just doesn't feel special to me. That's lovely. This is very pretty too. How lovely is that? It will just be stunning, probably in a textile collage, I would say. This one, not for me. Put it to donate back. And this is lovely too, little bobbin lace. Very fine, very pretty. So they all came out of that $5 bag, and that was excellent value. In fact, way better value than when I bought the individual pieces. So thrilled to pick those up because they're harder to find. In Melbourne, I also found just 2 tiny little bits of lace that I'll, like, if it's gorgeous, I will pick it up. And I think the lady actually said to me, I was buying something else. She said, I can't charge you for those. And I was like, oh, I actually want them. And she said, no, I can't. I said, some op shops would. And she said, oh, please take them and enjoy them. I will enjoy them. Thank you for that. I found this massive thing, 33 meters of brown, kind of largish rickrack. Now, I love that it's still in its package, and it's from Japan, which, you know, I love things from Japan. But I've never seen one that big before, so I was quite thrilled to pick that up. And then same op shop had this white, quite dirty rickrack, which I quite liked. And I can't remember how much that was, but this part of it especially was especially cheap, and I was just like, we can't leave that behind at that price. And then in this wonderful op shop in Melbourne, in Garden Vale, which is kind of where we used to live, in Melbourne, there was this little church op shop. I think it was called St. Paul's. I just put in the map, op shops near me. Otto and I went and found it. It had the motherload. I'll show you in the embroideries and stuff. But I found this, which is just beautiful. I think that is gorgeous, and that will be wonderful as ties or embellishment in lots of the kind of projects that I like to do or kit up. I am going to do this haul in sections. So I've just done trims, and now I'm going to do coloured crochet doilies. And I also was just thinking, as I was sorting them into piles, about why I'm sharing this. Partly because I like to show you the textiles that I think are lovely to collect, and why I might pick something up or how I might use it. But secondly, I have just been loving it. Like, I think I've watched them like 3 times each. But Kate in the Nest's videos, so she's a prolific YouTuber, like sometimes multiple YouTubes a day, but she did a little trip to Orange and did some op shop hauls along the way. And I just loved seeing what she picked up and the different things. And I'm hoping, like, you guys might enjoy it the same way. I'm never trying to make somebody feel bad that this is what I found, they can't find anything, because the thing about vintage textiles or collecting from vintage shops or buying wherever you buy it from, it's hit and miss. Like, it's not like it can be mass produced. It's old. So you're lucky when you come across it. And for me, it just makes my absolute day. But it's not always like that. You might go, I don't know, months of going to shops or looking online or wherever you're looking for and not find anything that floats your boat. But as I said, I think my mum was maybe looking down and wishing me some good thoughts because I did hit the motherload. Now, I can't remember where all of this is from. It's mostly from op shops. Like, so I did a lot of, or one afternoon of op shopping very heavily with Otto, poor Otts. He had to have multiple bubble teas to get him through. And then we stopped at a couple of places on the way home. We drove from from Melbourne to Newcastle, so we had to get our vehicle home. Some of the kids flew, some of us drove, and I drove because I like to stop. Anyway, all that to say, I hope that this is, the intention of sharing all of this is just to share the beautiful things I've found. I do put lots of it in kits. You'll see lots of it in my work. And, you know, for when you're looking, and sometimes the sources I find, it will help you. Oh, that's what I was saying. Lots of it was from op shops. There was a number of parcels when I arrived home. Like, so you might have seen in my shop, lots and lots of fabrics got added in a hurry because they all arrived while I was away or down in Melbourne for, you know, nearly 2 weeks. And so some of these are picked up from Facebook Marketplace, from Etsy or eBay. If I'm buying from Etsy or eBay, sometimes you can get good deals. But Etsy, it's generally for my own use. Like, it's not at a price that you can really resell or, you know, and that's great. Like, that's fine. And so if you're looking just to increase your own collection or for things, Etsy is somewhere that you definitely should look at. Sometimes the postage can get out of hand, but besides that, that's where we're at. Okay, so these are the coloured crochet doilies. Hold on, somebody's calling me. Okay, sorry. These are the coloured crochet doilies. Now, I think I find coloured crochet doilies hard to pick up in lovely colours. And this bundle actually had a couple of red ones that I will not use or sell. So they're already in my pile to be donated back. But I think I got these from Facebook Marketplace. They're lovely. Love the colours of them. This yellow. This one is just gorgeous. The pink and the yellow and the beautiful vintage green. I love this citrine colour. And I think it's just made all the more special by this ecru kind of colour around the edge. A couple of ecru with that more vintage green, but a bit darker than usual. Blue and a variegated green and white. Lovely. These three I picked up definitely in Melbourne or like from op shops. This one I really like. It's got the raised flowers. This one's got like a linen center, but that yellow crochet around the edge is what really made it for me. And this little green and white one, also lovely. This is the cream of the crop. Actually, I'll move those so you can see. It's like a daffodil. Like, all of these are daffodils. Imagine if you starched them and they kind of stood up. I mean, it's just incredible. I love it. I don't know what I would do. Like, I would absolutely use all of that. Like, I love it. I'm not sure what I'm going to use it for or if I'm going to be able to part with it. It is a special piece, I think. So I was very thrilled to get that. And that's the totality of the coloured doilies. I always look for them. So I find them hard to pick up at a reasonable price or at any price, really. But when I find them, I love to get them. So the next little bundle I've put together of things I collected was the applique pieces. Now, this is just a napkin. It feels really gross, actually, at the moment. It needs a good wash. You can see it's kind of dirty. Just a tiny little bit of applique, and I like that. But I also just love that edge there. Just gives you a whole another element to work with. So that's definitely pick up for me. Little applique doily. 2 placemats with the yellow and brown. That's the most common colorway I think I pick up. I like that though, and I've used it before in a textile collage. I might show you at the end. Oh, this probably should have been with the tablecloth. This lovely green applique tablecloth. Dirty. Everything's going to get soaked. Some beautiful work here also with that beautiful edge on it. So lots of usable textiles in there. And then these lovely green bits. Now this is a bit more like this one here, and I got a whole set, is a bit more like this one that I've picked up. Why do I think that? I don't know, I just do. And I really like that it's got the embroidered flowers as well and drawn thread work. I love that. And the edge. I just love the whole thing, really. Just think it's beautiful. So I got, like, that's I think it's called a Duchess set. So a large one and 2 little ones, and they all need soaking. And that is, there might be another tablecloth actually, I'm not sure. But that is all the applique that I could pick up. And I always try and pick it up because I really am enjoying using it. And that's definitely influenced by the Roxy sisters, Sarah and Rachel, who I'm sure you're all familiar with. I see them use it. They actually gifted me some and I used it in the first Huswiff that I made. And I just loved it. But before that, I'd hated it. My mum had told me it was cheap. I don't know why. My mum had very firm opinions about what was proper and what was not. And anyway, I don't know. I didn't think they were good for some reason, but now I'm just loving them. So I'm finding them hard to pick up in Australia though for a decent price. I did have some beautiful kind of fruit ones at one point, which I loved. And I think I might have one still in my personal stash. But anyway, so they're going in the soaking pile. Next is the pile of small things, like small doilies, sandwich trays, that kind of a thing that are embroidered. So this is kind of quite standard. You will see that around a lot, but I do love the little flowers on there. So pretty. Always pick one of those up if it's a decent price. I love a sandwich tray cloth because they go really well into a needlebook. And if it's too big, so say your needlebook, why don't I show you on a needlebook? Say your needlebook, say it comes out the side. If it only just comes out, I actually quite like when things hang out the side, as you can see here. But say it was, you know, hanging out like this and it was flopping and annoying you. What you can do is either fold in the middle to take out some of the width if you don't want to cut it. I don't like to cut it. I just tend to fold. Or alternatively, have one side as in your needlebook and then fold the other side over to form a pocket or even just an embellishment. So to go in like so. So that's something, if your sandwich tray cloths are just a bit too big for your purpose, just kind of, you can boss them about so that they are what you need. So sandwich tray cloth, love this. I'm absolutely loving this kind of stitching, which it's like a blanket stitch, like a fine blanket stitch. Love it when we get a edge like so. Always will pick that up. Then yellow was cute. This one, don't like this at all. Do quite like the edging. I just like this green line of stitching. That'll be really cute in something. And you could actually, like, you know, embroider some words in there if you had that piece of it. So pick that up. Always like flowers like so, like lovely pink. This is a lovely sandwich cloth. I've never, kind of almost looks like balloons. I think it's flowers, but I really like that. Now this is beautiful work. I think it's older than it says. Like the linen, it's very fine linen and it's got holes in it, but it says many happy returns of the day, Mother 83. So if it was 83, it's 41 years old. But I actually think it's older than that. I'm not sure. Very cute. 2 sides of work. I will cut that up because it is damaged. Oh, this one is lovely. Very naive stitching. 2 beautiful bluebirds of happiness. And it says 1836 centenary, 1936. So I think this has been done by a child. And in 1936, maybe for a school, you know, so it's 90 or 88 years old, which is just crazy. How cute is that? Another one of those. It's a lovely cross stitch. I also really appreciate the drawn thread work and the different edges, and I've talked about that before. Cross stitch piece, another cross stitch piece. These are cute. So there were actually 3 of these, and they're little strawberries. Now I'm making a strawberry quilt and I have way too much stuff for it, except that perhaps I might be changing my plans of what that strawberry quilt is like. Anyway, there were 3 of these. I've put one in my personal stash. This is very fine. I think maybe cotton, very fine cotton, and just very cute embroidered strawberries. So just lovely work there. And so those 2 will probably end up in a kit. Lovely Australian native gum flowers. The bigger piece that we had, the 2 smaller pieces for this. Really pretty cross stitch. Now for me, interestingly, I really love this one. I love the edge on it. Like I love that very fine crochet edge on it. But I love that there's a little embroidered kind of stamen in the middle. That just makes it for me. So that was one that I was really pleased to find. This will be a machine embroidered one. Just quite liked that it was a bit different. Also like the edging of it. Pretty. Now this one, damaged at one end, pretty good at the other. So this would be a great one to cut in half, say, to use as a pocket, or, you know, cover that maybe with something or embellish that somehow. But don't ignore them just because they're a bit damaged. They're lovely. This one I'm going to send to Kate in the Nest. I just thought of her when I found it. It says, good morning. It hasn't quite been finished. It needs its eye finished and some circles around here. But I thought, like, it's Kate's colours. She loves these oranges and yellows, but not so much the greens and blues, although she has been doing a lot of blue lately, I've noticed. Anyway, I just thought of it. I thought of Good Morning. I really enjoyed her YouTube, so I'm going to send that one to her. So, Kate, when I ask you for your address, that's why. Second last category. Sorry if this has been ridiculously long. I hope people are still enjoying it. White work or white things. I love that sandwich shape. As I said before, I will generally pick up a fine crochet piece if it's that shape. And it may be that I embellish like some felted wool with it or something like that. But generally pick up fine crochet in that shape. Don't know why I chose this. Quite like it, although it's a bit holey, a bit broken. This one I definitely chose for the edging of it. It's got lots of workable areas in it, but it's a cutter. But the edge of that is just very beautiful to me. So that's why I picked that one up. Like the raised flower in the center of that one. Just often leave, so this one I picked up. I often leave similar but not the same to this behind. This is fine. And it's got a lot of potential to me. Sometimes I look at them and just think, can't see anything with them. But when they're fine crochet, I do tend to love them. Maybe that other one that was a bit broken was with this one, like, and I quite like the little dots. So I definitely use this one, but the other one is definitely a cutter. Now this has some beautiful, like, one, it is just divine linen. Beautiful edge work, and I thought this would be wonderful for a piece like I'm working on with all my textiles that I'm kind of finely working onto that. Like, that's quite a fine put together, but this is the kind of base that I used as well. Not this exact one, but that is why I picked this up, and that was from that op shop in Melbourne as well. Picked this up on the road, all stained. Hopefully that will come out. Little pocket with nice drawn thread work on the front. This one, like, that must be a machine embroidery because it's just so fine. And it's probably, I would say, got some religious connotation to it. Just was cute. Thought it would be cute in something. This is divine. I'm not sure. Is that crochet? I'm not even sure. It is so fine, so beautiful. It has got a rip in it here. But so much to work with there. So that definitely came home. Another sandwich doily shape. These are quite handy to have as pages in books. So which is why I pick up these little square shapes. Also beautiful fine embroidery work with some linen in the center. I love this type of, that's the back of it, this type of bobbly lace. I use that a bit in like Fleur Woods inspired pieces. I think they add to it and stitch through and out of and include in. So a couple of those. Also as a little page in a needlebook probably. This is lovely. This kind of very, either very dirty or a towny kind of colour. Fine. It's almost like bobbin lace, I think. I'm not sure. Cut work with grey stitching hand done. This little piece here, I don't know why it's got this red thread in it. Just a little lace page, which would be cute in a needle book. And then another kind of linen piece with beautiful edging on it. Now this linen piece in the center is a lot smaller and actually a lot finer, the linen, but would still be, I mean, look at that. That is gorgeous. Lovely to stitch on. Just, I think it's gorgeous. And then a little hanky. I always pick up hankies if they've got nice edges because they're great in needlebooks. So that one's very sweet to me. And now I've got the last, selection of things. Tablecloths. Last things, I promise. Beautiful linen tablecloth. Beautiful green, white, and kind of slaty blue colours. And around the edge here, it's 6-stranded embroidery floss. Actually, separated there. Maybe it's 4-stranded. I think 6. Tablecloth in absolutely beautiful condition. Paid a fortune for it off Etsy for my own collection. Love it, love it, love it. Some beautiful little napkins came with that too. And I put some of those in the kit and I've kept one for myself, I really hope. Maybe 4 napkins came with it. It was expensive. It was just expensive. But just, I had to have it. And I'm so pleased I do. I don't know that I'll be able to cut that up. This one came from England. Look at that. Look at that. 4 corners like that. Needs a good soak. Smells a bit musty. Lots of work, and in the center as well. But 4 corners like that, which is just beautiful and amazing. Wasn't cheap either. But we rarely get this type of bigger tablecloth just with beautiful work like that in Australia. So I'm not sure, I'd probably keep 1 corner and use 1 corner of it myself and sell the other 3. I don't know that I'd even get my money back for it. Sometimes that's what happens. Sometimes you just need something, and I needed it. Came at the same time as the other one from England. It's got lots of embroidery to use. So this one and the one that I showed before, same price. This has got more usable bits in it for people to include in kits. Not more usable bits. They're both about the same size. They're both big. But I could include it in more kits. So it probably works out to be a much more economical choice. Actually, I love this embroidery. Love it. Love these blue daisies. But I prefer the other one. So, that's how it has to be with vintage textiles sometimes. Something just you have to have. And because I was already paying postage from the UK, I love this. Look at that. Just stunning. Six stranded embroidery work, just beautiful. This is doubled over and then stitched down, and then this is a pocket. So I'm not sure what that would have been for, but I'm very thrilled to have it. This I found in Yass, and it wasn't cheap. It is a daffodil tablecloth, and I was on some daffodil kind of, like, I don't know, bent, I guess. Really beautiful work. There is some marks on the tablecloth, needs a good soak. So all four corners, plus in the centres of each edge, plus some centre work. Now, I'd probably cut that up. I might make actually a daffodil bundle, but I'm not sure because this was quite expensive from an op shop, but I saw it and I decided I should have it. Seemed like it should come home, and it did. Also, on the way home, stopped in, where did we stop? There's the bakery there. And the Submarine. If you're in Australia, you'll be like, oh my God, Holbrook. Found this tablecloth for $5 dirty, needs a soak, but that is a great price for a big tablecloth. And this is the same textile that I used in my Gosling quilt. So super thrilled to pick that up because I'll cut it up. Obviously needs a good clean. Hopefully it will come good. And include that in kits to go with Gosling quilt kits, because people often like to have the same textiles that I've worked with, and I'm out of the one that I did, but that's the same tablecloth, so thrilled about that. Found at an op shop. This is some kind of loose weave cross stitch fabric. It is not Aida. I'm not sure what it is. Very lovely, very fine cross stitch. It's counter cross stitch. But it's not loose, but like it's not a super tight weave. So that's a little like supper cloth. Very pretty. Four corners like so, nice edging. Thrilled to get that one. Another cross-stitch tablecloth, which I said I've been loving. This one's got burns, paint, ink, lots of stuff that it feels grotty and disgusting, so it needs a good soak. Lots of usable areas, though, and wouldn't they be lovely as kind of the larger hexies in the Gosling quilt. So happy, like easy to cut this up because it is ink stained, etc., but still lots of lovely work to be used. I showed a kind of little napkin, I think. This came from the little op shop. Sorry, my head might have gone under the camera then. In Garden Vale. This is hand-worked edging, beautiful hand-worked embroidery. Beautiful linen, large tablecloth. Currently has some marks on it. It'll have a big soak, see how it comes up. I think, like, this was an absolute bargain. I think it was $4. Like, there is a lot of beautiful linen in here. It's really lovely linen. And all this hand-worked edging, just stunning. So, again, very happy to pick that up. They're the two I want to show last. When Oddie and I were on our op shop kind of traipse, I found this lovely rose one. Lovely edging on this. Beautiful edging. Little bit of marking. Might come out with a soak. Not sure. Actually, quite a lot of marking. So if it doesn't, good to cut up. Lovely roses and associated work around it. And you know, this in the corner is very pretty too. So that was a good pickup. And then this one reminded me of Debbie's find, and it may actually be exactly the same. She brought one into shop. She loves to show me what she's found. And I think mine might be the same, Debbie. Is it? I don't know. It's really sweet, really lovely. Nice bright colours, needs a good soak, nice edging on it, all the good things. And then last but definitely not least is this beautiful tablecloth. Oops, I'm going to put it up the right way for you. On linen that I picked up off Facebook Marketplace. Now, it wasn't cheap, and then I've paid postage on top of that. But I just love bits like this. Big cross stitch, 6-stranded embroidery floss cross stitch on linen. Beautiful work. I doubt that this tablecloth has ever been used. And it's got 4 of these big kind of rose sprigs and then 1 in each corner as well. So just lovely, lovely work, and, you know, just thrilled with that. I will have trouble cutting that up. But I don't know. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. We'll see. Watch the space. Now, I'm just going to turn, if you've stuck it out this long, thank you. But also I'm going to turn you around and show you what, I'm going to put that there so you're not looking at a white screen, what I'm dealing with in the study, which is where my stitching area is 1 week out of moving the shop. Okay, so this down here is a violin stand, like music stand. This is all shop stuff. This in the crates is all, so at the bottom there's some boxes that we send out our parcels in, and there are like they're cushions that were in the shop and have just been cleared out for while Fleur's there. This is all product, like vintage textiles that has been cleaned. This here, and I've just been putting on top as we've gone through, that big IKEA bag. You know how big those IKEA bags are? That's one of those. It is full of textiles that I need to wash. So they're the ones that I've gone through on the top. Underneath, we've got like all sorted bits that I make kits from. I've got a lot of vintage textiles. I'm obsessed, absolutely obsessed. And this is what my poor family is dealing with at the moment. This is our study. That's half of our study, and even like my own. So that's the pile of things that I will donate back. And then this is fabric and bits and pieces that are my things that I just haven't put away. Over here is, you know, that's vintage textiles of mine, just a complete mess. These are little teacups I've been collecting to make pin cushions in, including a really cute little French cafe cup. Haven't done anything about. And just, you know, a complete mess. There's some pretty textile collages that I've just pinned up there. And there's my Fleur Woods inspired piece that I did. I love that. I really love it. I need to frame it. Just need all the money. And I've just noticed on the floor that I have dropped one last textile. This is my actual mending to do. May get to that, may never get to that. This came from St. James's op shop as well. I just love it. It just is beautiful. I love the black crosses. I love the baskets of flowers. I love the colours, the really creamy linen. This wasn't so cheap. Like, they realised that this one was a really nice one. It is really nice. But so that's my last one. I hope you can all hear how much I adore all of this stuff and working with it, all of these textiles. And I hope it's inspired you to have a look at what you might have and use your own things. So happy stitching, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it.